Okay, so let's get right into it. Why is it so important to study our environment? I mean, it's a huge question, one that's totally fundamental to our future, right? Well, today we're going to break that down.
You can almost think of it like this. Our planet is talking to us all the time. It's sending signals. You see it in changing weather, in ecosystems that are, well, struggling, and in resources that are stretched thin. The big question is, are we actually listening? Do we even understand what it's trying to tell us? That's really where environmental studies comes in. It's like our Rosetta Stone for learning the planet's language.
So, let's talk about our planet's diagnosis. Because, think about it, a doctor can't just hand you a prescription without figuring out what's wrong first, right? They need to diagnose the problem. And that is exactly what environmental studies is all about. It's basically a health checkup for the entire Earth. And it all starts by getting a really clear look at the symptoms.
And it all kind of boils down to this. This list you're seeing, this is our foundation for this whole conversation. It's our roadmap. It lays out why this field is so critical, and it's going to guide us through the diagnosis, what we're aiming for, and, most importantly, the plan of action.
Okay, so the very first step. It's simple, but it's absolutely crucial. We have to understand the problems we're facing. And I don't just mean knowing that, problems exist. It's about getting a real solid grasp of the challenges. You just can't find a solution if you don't fully understand the problem. It's square one.
All right, so once we've got the diagnosis down, what's next? What's the end goal? I mean, what does a healthy planet actually look like? We're not just trying to patch up holes here. The real aim is to get to a world that's truly in balance. The first piece of that puzzle is what we call ecological balance. Now, that might sound a bit technical, but the key phrase to grab onto is dynamic equilibrium. Dynamic is important here because it doesn't mean everything is frozen and unchanging. Not at all. It means you have this incredibly resilient, interconnected web of life, from the tiniest genetic code all the way up to massive ecosystems that can all adapt and thrive together. It's stability in motion.
Next up is a term you've probably heard a lot, sustainable development. And it's so important. At its heart, it's about progress, for sure. But it's progress with one eye on the future. It's asking a really profound question. How do we meet our needs right now without completely wrecking the ability of future generations to meet their own needs? It's about not pulling the ladder up behind us.
And the third big goal, protecting biodiversity. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine an ecosystem is like a super complex engine. The more different kinds of parts you have, all the different species, plants, animals, the better and more smoothly it runs. It's more resilient. If one part fails, another can pick up the slack. So this variety of life, biodiversity, it's like the ultimate health gauge for the natural world.
So you've got these three huge goals: ecological balance, sustainable development, and biodiversity. The thing is, you can't really separate them. They're a package deal. They all work together. And when you put them all together, what you get is a really clear, powerful vision of what a healthy planet actually looks like.
Okay, a vision is great, but a vision without a plan is just, well, a dream. So how do we actually do it? How do we make it real? This is where we get to the prescription, the actual practical steps we need to take.
And the path forward really breaks down into three logical steps. First, it all starts with education. We have to understand what our duties are. Once we get that, we can move on to management. That's where we take what we've learned and actually put strategies into practice. And from there, that's what sparks innovation, coming up with totally new, sustainable products and ways of living.
And listen, this is the really important part. This isn't a job you can just outsource to scientists or politicians. No way. The whole point is that environmental studies is for all of us. It's about educating every single person about their own responsibilities to the planet. It's about empowering you and me and all of us to be part of the solution.
That idea of personal duty really hits home when you have a little mental shift. We tend to think of the environment as this thing that's, over there. It's the forests, the oceans, separate from our day-to-day lives. But the truth is, it's not separate at all. It is completely woven into the fabric of everything we do, into the systems that run our society.
I mean, look at the environment and the economy. We're always hearing about them like they're two boxers in a ring, constantly fighting each other. But what environmental studies makes crystal clear is that's just not true. The environment isn't a competitor to the economy. It's the foundation of the economy. Literally everything, every resource, all the systems that keep us alive, it all comes from the environment.
So, let's be clear. The goal isn't to just stop all development and go back to the Stone Age. Of course not. The goal is to get smart about it.
It's about understanding that deep, intimate relationship between development and the environment, and then figuring out ways we can grow and build that actually support the foundation we rely on instead of tearing it down.
And we have to talk about one more really critical piece of this puzzle: us, the human population. As we grow in number and as our development expands, so does our footprint on the planet. It's simple math, and understanding that dynamic is absolutely essential if we want to figure out a sustainable way to live on a planet that, let's face it, has finite resources.
When you really get down to it, studying the environment, it's like looking in a mirror. It forces us to take a hard look at ourselves, our choices, our habits, the way we've built our world. It's not really about saving the planet as some abstract thing. It's about saving ourselves. The information is out there. The path is getting clearer every day. So really, the only question left for us is, what's our next chapter going to look like? What are we going to write?